This is Don J.
And your vet Renee.
And this is Redemption Hospital. Sometimes you got to recognize that you're the reason for your own failures.
And that dream partner you want is only attainable if you fix your mindset.
We both had failures and heartbreak that drove us close to desperation.
But with prayer and education, we found each other and knew that this was what God destined for our lives.
Our job is to teach you the fundamentals to becoming a great partner so you can lay down a foundation for that person that you really want in your life. After all, we believe that if God was through with you, he would have called you home by now.
So sit back and enjoy some laughs, inspiration, and education on Redemption Hospital.
Guys and gals, we are back with the Redemption Hospital podcast. This has been something that we've been wanting to do for a while, but we will tell our story as to why we stopped for a little bit.
Life was lifing.
Yeah, it was definitely lifing. There was some growth that we definitely needed to go through, and outside of that, I would say the growth portion of it was maybe 20 to 30%, and the other 70 was grief, and we've been grieving. We'll make a very amazing video, but I'm transparent. There's been a lot of grieving that I've done. Kind of went back into some old habits after I lost my man Nico, and I have gained some weight, and it was definitely not on purpose. I'm definitely not excusing, but that was one of the hardest griefs I had to go through in my life. So again, we will have some type of memorial. But as for now, we are back. I don't know if Anita wants to speak on it at all.
I don't, because I'm already tearing up, so I'm good. I'm good.
Cool. I gained weight. She gained something else. I don't know. She was stressed. I think she smoked cigarettes, right? Was it cigarettes?
What I gained?
Cigarettes.
I've never smoked a cigarette in my entire life. Entire years.
Anyway, we are back, man, and we are ready to kick back into high gear, gain control of our lives again, as we have been doing. Praise the Lord.
Yes.
We are here to help you guys grow. And we are here to give you a lot of insight. So how we do season 2, Anita's going to intro with her Reddit post. I'm going to intro with my Reddit post toward the middle, but we're going to cap things at what the episode is actually about. Today we are talking about you're in the relationship with the person you don't want to be with, but that doesn't permit you to be an asshole.
Amen.
Amen. And speaking of amen, we will not be cussing anymore on this podcast. Forgive me, Lord.
I mean, that was you.
That was definitely me. Growth moment.
I gave away my cussing card a long time ago. A long time ago. And I'm very proud of it.
So that is where we are. And so, Anita, I would love for you to start off because we didn't do Songwriter Says. We just skipped it today. I need to hear this. By the way, guys, we don't share these with each other. So this is the first time we reveal them. And I need to hear this really quickly. So hit me with it. When there's the questions, we're going to go ahead and...
So keep in mind, this guy is young. So we're going to give him some type of grace. But the title of it is, I don't know how to be a good partner. Male 19, female 20. So he's 19 and she's 20. I got into this relationship by accident. Me and my roommate got drunk one day and we ended up sleeping together. Since then, we've been together. We've been together for about half a year since then. But I don't know if I'm happy. I mean, yes, she's a great person and a great partner, but I don't know. I didn't plan on having a relationship, much less living with this person. I feel like I'm losing my identity and I feel trapped. I don't know if I see a future with them. For starters, we have pretty different political beliefs, which is pretty important to me. I've thought about breaking up, but living with the ex sounds like torture, especially with all the animosity that's bound to grow from this breakup. I feel extremely guilty for her. I mean, she cares and loves me. I do too, but I just feel exhausted and alienated from myself, if that makes sense. I feel that it's unfair to her if I stay with her because someone else might appreciate her more, but I also feel it's unfair to her to break up with her. I would appreciate any advice.
I'm going to let you go first.
My first initial thought was WTH. How do you just, and I feel like a lot of people do this, they just end up in relationships with people a year past, 2 year past, 3 year past, and they're here and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm in a relationship. How did I even get here? Starting relationships is not intentional anymore. It used to be a whole process and a whole, let's go out to dinner, let's go to the movies, come meet my parents. All of these things used to happen before people got in relationships. And today is, well, we slept together. I guess that means we're a thing. What makes that person different from anybody else? Somebody can go and sleep with anybody on the street. Does that automatically just make you you guys just go together now? Like, I'm confused.
Yeah, and I think like if I be honest, like we don't know ourselves when young. Let me backtrack because I have like 50 thoughts. We don't know ourselves when we're young. However, for me at least, when I was, full transparency, we're in a relationship. When I was in high school, high school going to college, I was talking to females, but it wasn't like serious, you know what I mean? And I felt like it wasn't serious on that end either. Now I'm backdating because that was like 15 years ago. Well, actually, oh my gosh. Well, I was 15 years old 20 years ago. Isn't that crazy? Golly.
Old.
Oh, God.
Old.
Anyway, when I was back in high school and college, I was talking to females, but it wasn't serious. It was like that play, like you wanted somebody to love you so much. So she's like, I love you. You're like, I love you. And it's like, do you really? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You're right.
But it wasn't that serious to be like, yeah, let's sleep together. Like, no, seriously. Like, even though, and it's crazy because you can say it through text, like, oh, I can't wait to put my hands over you. I can't wait to put my hands over you. And we meet in person and we go to the bookstore.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that wasn't everybody's testimony. Not being funny. That's why you had a lot of like high school pregnancies and stuff like that. But for me, it wasn't that serious. And for like the chicks that I was dealing with, it wasn't that serious. But you said it, but you didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Like these new generation kids are crazy. Not crazy, but I mean, they're crazy essentially because it's like, how do you find yourself trapped in a relationship after sleeping with somebody? And then secondly, for me, any relationship that I ever been in, I was serious about the person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even the person wasn't serious about me. And I ran into 3 of those where the person wasn't serious about me, and it was very evident.
Yeah.
And what starts to happen is like there's excuses for everything. There's excuses for showing love. There's excuses for having sex. There's excuses for even stuff like going to the supermarket. Like, hey, let's go to the store together. I don't feel like being seen. I don't feel like being seen with you. But I don't get how people can fake that. Like to say you're in a to say you're in a relationship and it just like kind of what relationship kind of just happens. How are you stuck? And if you're losing yourself, again, I remember being back in school and there were like two women I can remember in general, right? That it was like it wasn't serious, but like they were more serious than I was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to play drums. And it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. They broke up with me. And it's not that I'm diminishing like what they felt because I connected with them later, like in my like later 20s or my maybe like 26, 27. And they would say, like, you really broke my heart. And in my mind, I'm like, I said I wanted to be a musician, bro. Like I said it wasn't serious, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm just confused. Like how does she not know that it's
Well, I think the initial issue is that you have a teenage boy and a 20-year-old girl living in the same house together as roommates. Where are your parents? I mean, at 19 and 20, you're not mature enough to be in that type of situation and something not happen.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like that was bound to happen. And if my child came to me at 19, 20 years old and said, hey, mom, I'm going to go live with opposite sex. Hey, child, no, you're not.
Facts.
Because something is bound to happen.
And
And that's exactly what happened. You're not mature enough to handle a situation in which you're living with someone of the opposite sex and it not either you guys end up sleeping together, going together, whatever the case may be. You don't have the maturity for that. And that's exactly what happened. You're not mature enough You end up in something you don't want to be in, and now you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. And I understand wanting to be nice and not break up because you don't want to hurt anybody, but you're hurting them by essentially lying to them every day because that's what you're doing. You don't want to be with them. So you're just lying to get by because you don't want the situation to be awkward.
One of the biggest things to remember is if a person feels trapped in a relationship and you feel like you can't be yourself, whether it be 19, whether it be 15, whether it be 25, whether it be 35, whether it be 40, you've already lost. And if you feel like you can't be yourself, then that is something that is going to be the detriment of you, because what you're going to do is you're going to look for other people to replenish what you felt you lost. I've said a while, and I say this to her in private, when I'm with Anita, I feel like I'm single. I truly feel like I'm single. And that's one of the best things that I love in a relationship. And people are like, what? You feel like you're single? You can just do whatever I want? Yes and no. Single on the basis of I'm literally downstairs playing drums for an hour. I'm upstairs minding my business, playing a video game. I'm doing stuff now. I'm spending time with her, but it's not like the other relationships where it's just like I could be playing the game for 15 minutes. Oh, you're gonna play that? Is there anything else you can do? Oh, you still play video games? You blah blah blah. And it's just like, oh, you still waste time on Netflix. There's at least I'm productive, most of the time. At least I'm building a career. You know what I'm saying? You come home and go straight to that. Like, I'm so used to that. And I'm used to that toxic, like bothering, the kind where you don't want to go home. And then like you just go somewhere, you go to your boy's house and you just get high, and then you're like, oh,
not get high.
You know what I'm saying? Like whether it be, and I'm just speaking for
like Jesus.
Right, past experiences. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that no more, but ain't nobody perfect. But you just like, you just get high and you go home, and when she's bickering, you don't hear it no more. You're just like, this is crazy. Your face is red. Like, you know what I'm saying? But back to my point, it's like when you feel like you're losing yourself, man, you've already lost. Not at the lost yourself, at the losing yourself.
Yeah.
Man, you've already lost, because there's nothing else worse in this world than losing yourself and then try to regain yourself after you've already broken up in a relationship. Because after the relationship, there's already something that you did lose, whether it be time, whether it be that you gained weight, right? You lost yourself. There's something that you lost because you couldn't be yourself with that person. And you might not get it back.
Yeah. Going back to what you said about in your past relationships feeling like you couldn't be yourself, I think the difference is that we both are okay being by ourselves, and we both get rejuvenated when we spend time alone. So even if you're down here playing drums for an hour and a half, I'm spending that time by myself, listening to gospel, looking at my favorite YouTuber, reading something, reading the Bible, something like that. That is essentially me time, and you playing drums is you time. And I feel like couples don't understand the aspect and the importance of that. And for us, it's never like planned or intentional. It just kind of happens. And for me, I prefer it that way because I'm that girl. I don't like for you to be like, oh, I'm just going to go down here for 5 hours and play by myself because I just want to be by myself. I just don't like that. It's just, and it's, I prefer it just to be natural, organic.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Back when I was coming up, I would play drums for 8 hours. And the thing is, to those women, if they are watching at some point, I am very sorry because I didn't understand. But I understand relationships now. I get it, Whereas before, I'm like, bro, and I mean, I'm not saying I don't apologize, but it was worth it. It built my career for sure, the thing that I wanted. But I'm not doing that for 8 hours. Can I? Absolutely. But I swear to goodness, and she probably hears this from upstairs, the going gets good. I'm like, and like, it's not like I finish and I'm like, yeah, like end it, do, boom. Like there's no end. It's just in the middle. And it just stops. Anita, you all right?
Right.
Anything? And that's the basis of where we are. I like it when it's organic too, because it doesn't seem like it's coming from such a toxic space. Like one thing I hated in past relationships is like women would do the micro we need space, right? The big we need space really to just go do stuff with other guys or other girls. is like, hey, we should talk. I think we need space. But the micro we need space is the ones where they're like, hey, I don't even feel guilty for not ending a relationship. It's like the, hey, I'm gonna go to the movies for 5 hours. I'll be right back. And you say it with a little sweet voice, it's like, what movie is playing for 5 hours?
Right.
Maybe I want to do something else. Well, what do you want to do? Well, maybe I might want to get, and it's like, how you come with this 50 maybes? Maybe. I'm like, yo, I'm going with my boys. We're gonna eat. I'm capping it at an hour because I don't feel like talking that long, and I don't feel like hearing any complaining that long. After that, I'm going to the movies. We're gonna eat. We're gonna go to the movies. We're gonna chill, and I'll be back in 3 hours. Time me. You got my location. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But like that micro, we need space. Like you said, it's when it's organic, it's amazing. Like, hey, you just go downstairs. I play drums. I come back upstairs.
Yeah.
We watch a movie. We do other. But to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do, but I'll be back in like a day.
Something.
All right, I'll be back in a day.
Not in a day.
When you get back, your stuff will be outside. God bless.
All right.
It's funny because when it really boils down to relationships, people think that just because they haven't found their person, that it means they can be whoever they want, right? And I would love for you to touch up on this, but I'm going to be real brief.
Okay.
Just because you haven't found your person in a relationship does not mean that that is your whim to just be like, hey, whatever, that's your sign to just be a jerk. That's your sign to just step all over somebody. That's your sign to do stuff as if God is not going to repay the seeds that you have been sown to that person.
Yeah.
And there's one thing to do stuff accidentally or do stuff when you have communicated to people like, hey, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. It's another thing to do things when you're one, unaware. So people like to use the unawareness factor. Like, I didn't know. After you found out and you still say you didn't know, you just forgot. And that means it wasn't that important to you. But secondly, when you do stuff on purpose because you see there is no type of repercussion, right? So prime example, when women go to court and they do everything in their power to keep the kid away and do all that stuff, right? The thing is, a person of good character, you don't ever have to get to that point, right? So if you get to a point where a woman's like, say the court custody orders like you have half days, she has half days, and you have to show up at 5 o'clock on Wednesday, or half a week, I'm sorry, you have to show up 5 o'clock on Wednesday to give the kids over. A person of character can say, I don't really need the court order to do that. Like, hey, do you want to meet up and, we can, and if you wanted to, if it's not too awkward, we can let the kids know where we are and we can go out to eat. I always say you should always show kids that you're not fighting or not fussing or anything like that. You should have, even if they're step parents, you should meet in the middle, let them know. But you wouldn't need a court order for that. The way you're not dealing with a person of good character is if it's like, oh, I won't be there until like 5 on the dot. The court order doesn't say that. It's like your character is absolutely trash. Absolutely trash. Because if you need a paper from a higher power or organization
to do the right thing,
right, to do the right thing, which your kid is with a social security number anyway, it's not yours. You want to prove it's not yours? Go ahead and light your house on fire and see if you don't get them kids taken away from you. Your social security number on a piece of paper, and you're not willing to do the right thing, the biblical right thing, what's in your heart, man, that's no excuse. And so when people are out here being in relationships and it's like, yeah, that wasn't my person, so I was just an absolute booger. Okay, God will repay that. And plus, you missed an opportunity to grow. The person that you want ain't coming for you, and they're not going to recognize who you are because you didn't even spend that time to learn who you needed to be. If you want good practice, find some mud to practice in. You get what I'm saying? If there's a person that looks like mud, they don't look like something that you want to be, then you can practice servanthood to them. Matter of fact, that's an amazing practice because if they don't have the finances, they don't have the looks, they don't have the heights, they don't, whatever you're looking for, they don't have, oh, they're not a go-getter. That's your perfect time to practice who you need to be. Why? Because it's a person you clearly don't want. And so when it comes to the person that you actually do want, it's going to be easy because you've already practiced with somebody you don't want. But honestly, this is the type of logic that I would love to give to a lot of women, but a lot of women don't want to hear it. And then like you blame dudes for being in the same situation that you're in. And the craziest part is you're trying to blame and manipulate dudes into being with you. So it's like you hate the fact that you messed it up, but you want to blame them, and then after blaming them, you turn to manipulation. I can manipulate him to be with me to say he's gay or something. I guess I'm gay then. I'll be whatever you want, as long as I'm not with you. Whatever you want to call me. You're like, oh, he must be purple. I'm purple then. I don't know what purple is, but I'll be purple. As long as I'm not with you, I'll be black over here, and I'm not gonna be purple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people don't understand that. It's just have good character, man. Just learn. How do you feel?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about a woman who can learn from their past relationships? Women who say they want to get into a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and when they say they want to get into a relationship, they don't even become the person that they need to become. They don't practice. What do you feel about a woman who doesn't practice and then shows up to a relationship with absolutely no skills from any relationship that she's ever had?
A lot of people may argue with me, but a lot of women don't practice how to be a better spouse, how to be a better mother, how to serve, how to be loyal, all of these things, because essentially it hasn't been required of us. Like, we've had conversations before regarding the difference between men and women, and how men basically have to learn how to be a man, how to treat a woman, etc., etc. And that for women, we kind of just come as we are. And it's typically, without much thought being into it, it's typically the man's job to make sure the woman's happy, and to make sure that he's loyal, and to make sure that he's providing, and to make sure that he does all the things that makes the relationships great. And from what the man brings, the woman gives in return, which makes sense. But I think we've lost the value of women themselves working on being that woman that a man deserves. I feel like men deserve for us to work on ourselves, just like we deserve for you guys to be the best version of yourselves as well. And I feel like that equality has not been there. And I don't want to say only recently, but for me anyway, I just encountered the emphasis on women being better in relationships and being better spouses and learning how to serve and this and that. And I'm sure it has always been there, but for the emphasis of it, like it's always been emphasized on men, I don't think it's been there. And now it's on us to, it's so many resources out there, whether it's YouTube, books, CDs, DVDs, if that's where you want to go, whatever. It's so many books on betterment that we don't have an excuse anymore not to be, even though we aren't raised with the emphasis on it like men are. There's no reason for us not to be better than we were generations before.
That is crazy. You touched up on that because I forget the actual statistics, but please forgive me. There are quite a lot of men who go to like seminars, learn different things, and go to these channels to try to better themselves. And the part about growth that's the hardest is, when you are growing and somebody else isn't, it drives you apart.
Mm-hmm.
Right? How can two walk together unless they agree? Men are learning all sorts of things, right? And sometimes they start backwards. They learn the stuff about women first, and they learn stuff about career.
Mm-hmm.
When I got my heart broken, I didn't spend a lot of time about how to do this woman, how to do this woman, how to do this woman, I noticed that I just did, well, how to do this for my career, how to do this. Like my focus wasn't to do stuff for them. And honestly, my focus wasn't on women at all. The craziest thing is, after I got my heart broken, I was so heavily focused on like money in the bag and trying to get my knowledge and stuff up that I told myself that every female's butt stinks. And that's what kept me away from like trying to smash and go on dates and stuff like that. And it's crazy. Yo, it worked. It was stupid, but it worked. It was very stupid. The crazy thing is like there were women like at the time like, hey, you played really well, and blah 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 blah. And sometimes it was just like, hey, my kid needs lessons. It's like, huh, whatever. And then it's like, then other times like, hey, I would love to like go on a date. And like every time I'm like, her butt stinks, like cheese. And like I literally was like, bro, it helped. And I was able to focus on IT. And I already made the statement before, like I changed $10 into, I'm not gonna say, because I don't want to be that person. But $10 investment turned into a great deal of money. But I started backwards. And then I started to learn about women and charisma and stuff like that. And the odd thing is, when I started to learn about like women, there was a lot of stuff about communication, how to communicate, how to tell their this, how to tell this. And a lot of stuff I fell off because of my own expectations, all that stuff. But what that eventually snowballed into just learning about communication. Anytime I wanted to learn about something about a woman, it always turned back to what the thing was. And so it was like how to talk to women. And then it was like, oh, public speaking, cool. And 10 videos about public speaking. I was like, dang, I was supposed to do it about women. Like, and that's what it ended up to everything. And so I say all that to say you have guys out here learning like the absolute of absolutes. How to get money, how to talk to her, how not to lose her, how to hit the G spot, how to like, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we would want women to do the same thing. Like you saying that should be absolute viral because we would want women to do the same thing because it's definitely a reciprocation thing. And one of the craziest things in relationships, and I say this humbly because there's a lot of good women out there who don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of women who do know who won't do it. But one of the craziest things in relationships is like we have to learn. Like sex is the most important part. We gotta learn how to put it down.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta learn that, you know. And I do believe a man can be with one woman and have experiences and just do that. That one, he could be a virgin and just learn and get better. But there's a lot of women out here. Like one thing I love about you is like you're willing to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You're willing to do new things. Obviously, and we're not gonna talk about that because you know they ain't none of y'all business. But a lot of women don't.
Mm-hmm.
And they will know that their husband is like deprived and he wants a little bit more emphasis. And it's crazy because I swear, as a man, it's the little things, it's the feminine stuff. Like, prime example, I'm sorry for this to be like very visual, but like, it's the feminine stuff. Like, your girl's riding you and she just gives you one of those hair things. She put her hair back like that. She put her arms down. It's just the feminine, it's the small stuff. And it's like little things that you can learn. Like, I saw, like I searched it on YouTube and there's like ladies out there just teaching it, like just do this with your eyes and do this with your eyes. And I'm like, wow, this is not just this universal, these hoes are demonic type thing. They had to learn that too. Like, excuse my language, these 304s had to learn that too. So it made me think like, so if good women can do this, like what's stopping them? If other women can do this, what's stopping them? So man, to hear you say that, to hear you say that, is like absolutely crazy. Because it really points out that women can stuff too. They can become better too. Not that we want to focus on that. Like I'm not focused. I used to be, and that was hurting us. I used to be like, man, you could do this and you could do this. And I started like, bro, but you could do this. And it's always, I'm very transparent. It's like, bro, go back to the gym, dog. Like before you sit here and you can do this, you can do this. You was like, bro, drink some more water. Stop drinking sugar. Stop eating this. Like, you know what I mean? And every now and then, like I feel like this last 3 days is kind of like, but when I'm back in, I'm back in it because of the focus. Like, dog, get better. Like you get better. Like fuck all that noise, bro. You bring something to the table. She'll work on herself. You bring something to the table. So
Yeah. I feel like, and like I've told you before, the focus in relationships should always be not on what, you know, in a good relationship. We're not talking about these bad relationships, but in good relationships, it should always be on, the focus should be on you, on yourself, and how you are improving every day and what you did to make your partner feel loved that day. When you focus on the other person, first of all, your focus is so high on them that you're not doing anything.
yeah.
And then that person gets frustrated because it's like, well, you're saying you, but you're not doing anything. And then it's like a lose-lose because nobody's getting anything they want. And it's kind of like, okay, what's the purpose of all of this? You know what I'm saying? So you have to focus on yourself and what you're doing and your betterment and your improvement. And your partner will feel that love. They'll feel that change. They'll feel that you want to be better for them.
Yeah.
How can you not, after that, and when they feel that, how can they not want to be better for you when they know that you're out here striving to be better for them? And if they don't, I'm just going to say, not the person for you. But in general, when you're with a good person, like they feel that. They feel the commitment that you have to being better for them. And they have no choice but to reciprocate it.
Yeah, because it's contagious.
You know?
I had a guy, this is extremely funny, but I'm not going to laugh because I've laughed at it before. never let anybody tell you why your why is what it is. Right. There are some people who become successful because they want to grow apart. This is actually one of my reasons too. They want to become hyper successful because they want to grow a part of people who have like wasted their time, broken their hearts, etc. You want to be in such a great place that you don't even have to deal with that type of vibration anymore.
Yeah.
There's a certain level of finances and spirituality and emotional and communication that you can endure and help yourself achieve, that you don't even have to deal with those types of people anymore. And so there's a guy that I knew, his why was so stupid to everybody in this group. But the only thing that mattered was his why to himself. This man was like maybe 450 pounds. He lost that weight and, crazy enough, got himself to jacked with very little loose skin. And like, you would think that the why was so profound. And I really want to encourage people who do have a why, who you might think it sounds stupid to people. It doesn't matter if it gets you results.
Mm-hmm.
And his why, it wasn't like, yo, man, I need to become a better person. I need to do this. I need to do that, blah, blah, blah. We're just waiting at the answer at the table. Like, dude, you are jacked. You are fucking jacked, bro. Why? Like, how did you do it? And his response was, bro, I struggled to lose weight for a long time by myself. I got with my girl. She didn't complain about anything, including my weight. Every single day she would wash dishes. She would do this. She would do that. She would do this, she would do that. And like, she never complained. Said eventually her not even asking me to like do stuff, he felt bad about himself. Her not asking me to do stuff, like certain sexual positions I couldn't do, all that stuff. He's like, man, eventually I just went to the gym. I didn't even tell her. I just silently went to the gym. As I was losing weight, she was like loving me the same. And I said, well, what was your motivation to like keep going? Because at some point you plateau. He was like, yo, my only reason to keep going was I did not only want to look like Ving Rhames from Baby Boy, but I literally wanted to pick her up in the kitchen and do the same thing like Baby Boy and give her the same loving because she loved me so much.
That's hilarious.
I said, okay. And then, crazy enough, he had videos of him like deadlifting, right? And then he'll have videos of himself jumping and then curling the bar, jumping.
He was practicing.
I'm like, bro, and somebody made a video about that not too long ago, and it sent me a flashback. But I'm like, that was your motivation? Like,
listen, it worked for him.
It worked for him. He said, bro, I wanted to wear that apron in the kitchen and bring her. I was like, yo, and crazy enough, you have to be. I say this playfully. You have to be like some type of psychopath to like be on a weight loss journey for like a year and a half, 2 years, and that's like the biggest. But
I love it.
Like, it worked for him.
I love it.
And the best part is sometimes people just need love.
Yeah.
The best part was that his girl treated him the same through and through. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I mean, she was obviously happier because he was happier with himself.
Yeah.
But like I on a serious note, guys, like people will always say like, you got to do it. You got to be a man. You got to do blah, 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 blah. It's great. That's great. Those are great messages. Great. But there are some people who need the love of someone else.
Yeah.
To be like, yo, like I really want to do this. Like, can you imagine you do get with a woman, she's like, you don't need cookies. You don't need this.
Yeah.
Well, let's go do this. Let's go do this. Like, the absolute of any relationship is somebody who can help you.
Yeah.
Right? Two people. A man can help you grow, a woman can help you grow. But it's not to say you can't do it on your own, but to have somebody like, yeah, you don't need that. Yeah, you need that. And you've seen it on the opposite spectrum, right? With men. You've seen it in Why Did I Get Married To? Like, well, why don't we just, or I think it was the first one, why don't we just go to the gym? She's like, what? The gym? I see that you work out. And then she loses the weight. It's like,
exactly.
People just need somebody to be like, yeah, you don't have to do that. Like, I see that's hurting you. Like, you don't need alcohol anymore. Like, can I show you something different? Like, and it's just the love that the person has.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, a lot of times when those people are telling them things that they already know, but it just takes that encouragement, it takes that outside voice to really just drive it home for them, which is kind of crazy in retrospect. But it works, it works. Love heals. Good love heals.
Good love heals. Correct love heals. The proper love heals.
Yes. Receptive love heals.
Yeah, man. Love is patient, love is kind, does not boast, it does not keep record of wrongdoers. It's crazy. That is an absolute formula. Like, I swear, if it wasn't in the Bible, that'd be a book that I'd be like, man, like, it being in the Bible is like enough for me to be like, man, that's crazy. But if it was in somebody else's book who wrote it, I'd be like, yeah, that's the definition.
Yeah.
Because I could tell Anita now, like, yo, tomorrow morning, and which we're not, we're gonna juice and toy it. But I could tell her tomorrow we were going to Absolute Fair on Chest.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd be like, okay. Because she knows what it does. I'm not gonna say, Anita, we're going to failure on Chest. Don't do like last time. You were a little weak on that one. That was crazy. Secondly, don't do chest too crazy. I saw you looking at other people, and it made me like. There's a certain type of love that people think they're giving, and it's not love, bro.
That
It's
ain't
patient. It's kind.
it. Right? Now, what you mean? Because I'd be going hard on.
Nah, we got videos, right? We got videos. She
Probably
almost
not.
maxed out the shoulder. What was that machine? It was a tricep press down. So I was I was almost knee deep into failure. And so we took maybe like a 5-minute break, which is crazy because we wanted to see how much we really had left. Man, we went to that machine. I was maybe 6 notches from the bottom. And I was like, struggling. She didn't even change the weight. She was just like, dink, dink. I was like, what the fuck?
Don't do that. I think the difference is I don't lift. I was trying to think of the word. I don't lift as heavy as you do. So I probably had a little bit more energy left than you did. But I'm just a naturally strong person, okay? I get it from my parents. They're just awesome sauce. Like I appreciate the genetics that they gave because they were giving the good ones.
I'm gonna need Dr. Mike to chime in. I'm gonna need Dr. Mike or somebody on YouTube to chime in. Somebody chime in on this because genetics are that crazy. Like, we're gonna do a video, and to me, I just can't believe she can lift that much. Like, she can do a plate, what we call it, 45 plate, and then I put a 25 on there, and she did it twice, but still. That's a plate.
And the bar itself feel like it weighed 1,000 pounds.
So I'm like, somebody did a math. I was like, yo, okay. And again, she did it twice, but I was like, bro, she did it, and it wasn't a regular press. We were out, so that's even harder to do. We were those absolutely suck. We were pressed all the way out, super stretch. Coming in, I was like, yo, but yeah, she's strong, guys. I'm gonna
keep it girly though. I don't want to walk around looking like Vin Diesel or nothing. Just want you to know, don't run up on me.
I feel like, and I'm very, moderate when I say stuff like this because we know I would rather talk about myself, right? But I feel like the sexiest version of a woman is having some type of shapely to her. Like, you have shapely to you, and for your chest, you don't like Vin Diesel, but like that line down the middle is like so dope to me. Like the line and it goes over. Anything more than that, it's just like
looking a little manly over there. And I'm
she gonna go like this, like one of those kangaroos.
No offense to women that body train, and that's just what you want. It's just not what I want.
Yeah,
not what I want.
Yeah, if you do that and that's your thing, man, absolutely go for it.
Yeah,
like
actually quite amazing.
It is to see that, and it's crazy. I was talking to a pastor at my old church, and we were lifting weights together. He was surprised to see how many weights I did, and I was surprised to see how many weights he did. But he was like, yo, man, they got this thing, man. It's for men, it's safe to take. It's female steroids. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, man, it won't really harm us like regular steroids will, but you can take them, you get stronger. I was like, yeah, I don't know. And I think he did it, and he juiced up. Juiced up. I was like, dang.
That's crazy.
I'm like, yeah, I'm good on steroids. I want to keep my hair, and I'd rather my stay as big as they are. Excuse me. I was TMI. Edit that out. I'd rather I'd rather.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Figure that one out. Anyway.
Hold on. You got to give your final thoughts. What do you think this guy should do?
Oh, yes, you're right.
Basically, he's saying he feels stuck. He's lost his identity in the relationship. He doesn't even know how he got there, but he doesn't want to hurt her feelings. He cares and loves her, but you know, I'm hearing he just really don't want to be there, but he doesn't know how to break up with her without it being awkward because they live together.
So this guy smashed this girl.
Yep. His roommate.
His roommate. But he became roommates with her after they smashed.
No, they were roommates first. And they were drinking one night and then they slept together.
So they were both drinking before 21. Got it.
Right.
Secondly, they were roommates. Maybe something was or wasn't there. Clearly that it took alcohol to do it. Maybe something wasn't there.
Yeah.
For her, maybe. It sounds like from a guy's perspective that he doesn't really want to be in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
To say that he loves her, she's a cool person, and they're roommates, I think what will make it hard is trying to find a new place. The hardest part is anything you do with women that involves the super saiyan of their emotions.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to let that go.
Yeah, exactly.
I think my advice for him is to really, really be honest, and to be honest in a way, and this is going to sound left field, and I'm sorry, to be honest in a way that makes him sound available. So if he doesn't want to be with her and he wants to live his life and he wants to see what's out there, from my thought process, guys, right? He should most likely say, hey, I don't really want to be together. I want things to go back to where they were. I feel like I'm losing myself, right? We got two options. We can either not be together. I can do the things that I wanted to do the things to become the person who I was before I got with you, or you can be okay with letting me go a little bit. At least give me like 2-3 days out the week to just do myself. If it doesn't involve women, right? If I love you, like I say, then just let me be me. I'm still discovering me. I'm 19. I'm not 35. But if it is about other women, he should just say, I don't really want to do relationship per se. I don't want to make things awkward between us, but like you still have me. And if that's something that she might be acceptable, she may or may not be, because women are territorial. As long as he doesn't bring anybody to the house, like, hey, you still got me. Like, hey, I'm here. We live together. We're on a movie. You're watching the movie downstairs, and I just happen to come downstairs swinging my stuff. Like, hey, like it's time. You know what I mean? And they can still do stuff. They can still do the cutesy wootsy, all that stuff. But if it's gonna have her catching feelings, it's a hard predicament. But more than anything, I think this guy should let that thing go, because I'm telling you, man, there's nothing like losing yourself. There's guys who've stuck it out in marriages and relationships, and there's guys who have died because they have lost themselves. And a part of their woman cheating or stepping out was the fact that they liked who they were.
Yeah.
Like who you are. And they don't want you to change for them. Like she might say, oh, no, don't work out. You can stop working out for a year. The truth is, she'll still love you. She just won't be attracted to you, and she'll never tell you. You know what I'm saying? So don't stop doing it. But don't lose yourself for somebody else just because you think it's what they want. As a man, you never do what somebody wants if it's going to lose yourself. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. So that is what I think. It's not no big a deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah. I think more than anything, he needs to just be honest, because he's hurting her more by not being honest with her. And in her mind, she's probably in this wonderful, beautiful relationship, and he over there in the corner just mad because he don't want to be there. Like, I don't want to be with nobody that don't want to be with me.
And the crazy thing is, like I said, how can a person not sense that?
Because first of all, they're young, so the maturity of knowing the signs of someone not wanting to be with you is probably not very clear. And as women, we get so wrapped up in what we want the relationship to be that we don't look at it for what it really is. So he could very well be walking around. You can look at him and tell he's unhappy. But in her mind, she just wants it so bad. Not saying this is the case, but in some scenarios, he just want it so bad. And you ain't worry about nothing about it. He just having a bad day. He'll be all right. Sometimes we just want it so bad that we lie to ourselves about what is really going on, unfortunately.
Man, 19 though. Oh my goodness. Man, when I was 19, I know it sounds bad, but I wasn't slinging and banging. But when I was 19, when I tell you a feather can go by, I'll get that thing right up. I honestly, on carnivore, which is I'm slowly getting back into it. I'm aiding myself back into carnivore. On carnivore, man, that thing was crazy. My libido was. I felt like I was in my 20s, and I know I was getting on your.
How did we get here?
How is that the thing that tripped me up?
Kidding.
No, it's okay. The thing that's tripped me up is like the whole 19 thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know I'm a guy, bro. I know why it's hard for him to end that. It's hard for him to end that because it's easy accessible.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, one of the goals that we say in the red pill community is red pill, purple pill, I guess, in community is you want to be annoyed by your woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know she loves you. When you're annoyed, it's like, dog, I just want 5 minutes to myself.
I knew you liked it when I annoyed you. He be playing like he don't like it.
Bruh.
He like it.
She be doing stuff.
What I be doing?
I ain't gonna tell them.
What? They want to
She be
know.
doing stuff, bro. I'm like, this how she show love. And of course, that's
He like it, man.
Like it. So you know a woman loves you when she just get behind you, start thrusting. Like,
that's that good stuff, man.
Be doing her good thrusting. She put her whole.
You do it. Look, I've been practicing, y'all. I be putting in the good humps. The good humps.
She be. I'm sorry, this is gonna sound visual, but you know how you thrusted a girl, you're not just going in and out, you're aiming up, right? For that secret, sauce. She be doing that. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
He used to hate it, but now he just got used to it.
You know why?
That's what it is, you know?
I was so wrapped in myself. And first of all, I'm extremely comfortable with my sexuality, but it's like certain things like that would just like kind of set me over a little bit because what is happening? But when I saw like how much joy she had, and then y'all ladies could tell me too, or just let me ask the question as to why you do it. But they said that's how you know your woman loves you. Well, she just back there thrusted just for no reason.
It's random. Like, I don't know why. Like, I don't have a specific reason of why I do it. It's just fun. And I know you secretly like it. But it's a woman thing though, for sure. Like, it's what we do. And if your woman doesn't do it, ask her why. Ask her what's going on.
She don't love you.
Make sure she's happy.
Make sure she's happy. I think she has a reference and she's like, that felt really great to me. I want to give you this reference without giving you this reference.
What?
Man, honestly, what's crazy? I think the next episode, considering I have to do that public speech about sex, and I'm gonna read this Reddit post.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta do that public speech about sex. I think our next episode should be about the how. It's gonna be a hard conversation that we have to get out to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you should bring up some hows. I already have
what?
The hows. How to go crazy, how to do great, how to sustain. Mm-hmm. Right? And the realistic, right? We don't be going for 35, 40 minutes.
Nobody got time for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Gotta go to work in the morning.
But yeah, man.
Okay.
Thoughts before I read this Reddit post?
Yep.
This one's gonna jar you. We'll be continuing this episode next week.